Hey y'all, I'm Christopher Gallardo with popternative.com, and I recently saw The Monkey, which I think is Neon's most goriest and most trippiest films to date. It comes from Osgood Perkins, who directed Longlegs, and is produced by James Wan, who did The Conjuring. It's adapting the Stephen King short story, which sees twin brothers Hal and Bill as they witness a string of deaths unfolding around them. In an attempt to leave this haunting behind, the brothers discard the monkey and pursue different paths. However, when these inexplicable deaths resurface, the brothers are compelled to reconcile and embark on a mission to permanently eliminate this curse once and for all. And just from this premise alone, there is a lot that fans can enjoy from it, like Christian Convery and Theo James as the younger and older versions of Hal and Bill, respectively, are just so good because they're really able to differentiate both of these brothers because they're polar opposites. Like Hal is more introverted but really cares about others, while Bill is more of the bully stereotype, but he's got this sadism to him that is just truly absurd. In the first act, Tatiana Maslany, who plays Hal and Bill's mother, is really she's so sweet as a mother, especially with her chemistry with Convery, because both of them really add this flavor of lightheartedness to the film, which is just so sweet. There's a few scenes of them where you can just see this sort of family bonding, and you just can't help but empathize with what Hal is going through, but also it's maintaining this sense of realism as well. But from the second act on, James and Colin O'Brien, who plays Hal's son Petey, their father-son chemistry is just really, really realistic, but it's also providing a little bit of that heartwarming film element to the film, even though Petey is not really wanting to be Hal's son given all of the circumstances that happen with their family. But besides characters and the cast themselves, the kills and the setups around the kills are just so suspenseful, and they're really entertaining because the way they're elaborately set up really makes you think of Final Destination because of these hard cuts and these focus on specific elements on the screen, which really make you think, what is going to happen to these characters and what are they going to go through when they die? And it's got sort of that suspenseful thing to it, which really leaves you on edge because when the deaths play out, they're just completely bloody and they're really practical, which is a plus and is a positive for Osgood Perkins as a director as a whole, because we all love practical effects in this film. But the dark comedy itself is just really hilarious. Like, you've got Hal narrating his past, narrating how he feels in the present, and just also all the deaths playing into the cinematography and editing once again, especially with those hard cuts in the first act, which are just really funny. You also have these ongoing bits in the film, especially with these like cheerleaders that are celebrating the deaths. I don't know if that's from the book, but the cheerleaders are just really funny, even though they don't really pop up in the film as much. And also with the pessimistic humor of some of the characters in Hal and Bill's life, which try to provide that sort of pessimistic charm to the film as well. They're just really, really funny, but there can also be some improvements with the monkey. Like, the third act is just somewhat goofy given some of the narrative circumstances of what happened with Hal and Petey in that section, but it also might be a little bit too humorous in some of those spots. But generally, it's just trying to play into that absurd idea, well, sort of absurd take of like life, death happens. And the way that Perkins and the writers write around this idea is trying to really boost and emphasize that dark humor a little bit too much, but it's still entertaining nonetheless. And it's also got some of these trippy sequences which can be really disorienting, but also really makes sense in terms of the supernatural element of the monkey as well. So with that said, check out my full review on popternative.com, and The Monkey releases in theaters this Friday.